Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hardwood Nation podcast where we keep it real and we keep it raw. What is going on, Bryce?
What's up, buddy? Just glad to be here. Do you think after the Diddy situation, keeping it real and raw has like maybe a bad reputation?
I mean, even the name of Hardwood can rub people the wrong way, but I mean, I don't care, you know. That's a good one, though. Good way to start us off this morning. As always, it's your boy CL Anthony and my main man Bryce. And today we're going to talk about playoffs that are probably going to change within the next hour, well, next few hours or so. But we're going to go with what we have right now. So we're going to start with the Western Conference. So Bryce, there is a three-way tie for the number one seed in the Western Conference between the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Denver Nuggets. So for the duration of this season, all of those three teams have had number one for a little while. How do you think this is going to shake out?
um, who? Well, I mean, either way, all three of the teams should still be up there because they've all went through a little injury stint. I mean, I know Jamal Murray has been in and out of the lineup like he tends to do. Maybe not as long. He hasn't been out as long as he has in other seasons. But he still missed like some time, especially here later on this season for Denver. Um, we know Cat's been out for Minnesota, and he's obviously a big part of that team. And Shea missed some time recently for OKC, and for all three of those teams to just still be tied for first is impressive, especially with the other two teams. I mean, OKC, Minnesota, Denver, they've had such a good season that for these other teams to stay right there next to them, even through injury, is kind of a testament to how tough the West has been. Because I don't think many people had OKC maybe being this good, or maybe even Minnesota being quite this good. So yeah, it's been impressive. It's exciting. The one spot tie is the interesting part here in the West, whereas we're gonna get into it later. The East is jumbled up after the two spot, but I wasn't expecting OKC to quite be here at the end. I wasn't really. I thought Denver was just gonna take it over, but like I said, with the injuries, I don't think anybody was able to just completely run away with it. But no, all three of those teams deserve to be there, and they've had great seasons. The Denver one does not surprise me at all. That I expected them to be there.
Yeah, I kudos to OKC because they're ahead of schedule, and then
Yeah.
also kudos to Minnesota because they took their next steps even without Cat for the second half of the season. He's back now, um,
Yeah.
but I thought Minnesota was actually going to fall off when Cat went down, and Anthony Edwards just took it to another level, and so kudos to the Timberwolves. Now I'm going to ask you a question. What if I was to tell you either Kevin Durant, LeBron James, or Stephen Curry will not make it to the playoffs? How would you feel about that?
Excited.
Well, it's going to happen. One of
Hmm.
those three are not going to get in. So as of right now, the Lakers and the Suns are slated for the seventh and eighth play-in spot, and then Golden State is number 10 for the play-in spot. So two of the three teams could advance. Technically speaking, well, no, one of the teams will, yeah, one of the teams will advance, but there's a possibility that either Durant, LeBron, or Stephen Curry will not make it into the playoff round. If you had to guess, which one, who do you think is going to be out?
Durant.
So another failure for the Phoenix Suns.
I think so.
Okay,
I
got
think
it. They've been false prophets for a long time. So for all those people who were sucking Phoenix dick when they got Bradley Beal. Yep, you see now what we were talking about when that happened because we never believed in the Suns. All right. Oh, we do have one Western Conference matchup that's already set. 4-5 matchup between the Clippers and the Mavericks. The Clippers have home court advantage. We know that you're a Luka stan. How important is this series? You are, so stop it. How important is this series
That come
to
out of nowhere. I've never suggested like I didn't pick Luca for MVP. I didn't know.
you
No, get
always
out
ask,
of
you
here.
always ask me
Get,
about Luca. Every fucking chance you
get
get,
out
you
of
ask me
here.
about
I am
Luca.
not a Luca stand, not even close. Okay, go ahead though.
So again, how important is this series for Luca? Because the Clippers are a tough out in the first round. So how important is this series to Luca? Like, where does Luca have to end up? You know where I stand on Luca. I'm just he just has to go to the finals, right? But where do you stand on Luca? Because this is a tough first round matchup for him.
Um, if the Clippers are healthy, I'm gonna pick the Clippers over Dallas. Um, that's a tough matchup to run into.
It is. It really is. Yes.
Because to be honest, I would pick the Clippers to make it farther in the playoffs than OKC and maybe even Minnesota, just
Mm.
because of the experience they have, and when they're healthy, uh, they have a nasty combination of players there with tons of experience, and they've looked really good when they've been healthy. Dallas has been. I know they're trending up. They have been for a little. Um, they had a little more ups and downs to their seasons, I guess, or this season, I guess. To me, more so than the Clippers. And so I guess, I mean, I know we talked. Luca has to prove himself to be taken more seriously in this next up conversation that everybody seems to be having. But I don't know if he's going to be able to do it this year because I wasn't, I don't know who I guess I was expecting them to see. If they drop down farther, they were going to have an even tougher time. I just wasn't sure. I'm not sure if Dallas can beat the Clippers in a 7-game series, and so I'm not sure if anything happens to Luca this season in terms of legacy and reputation. I just don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen enough of Dallas to see. I know they've been playing better lately. I just don't know if it's going to be enough. The Clippers seem like outside of Denver, they're kind of the dark horse a little bit to win the Western Conference. They're good enough to come out of the West. So I don't know if I quite believe in Dallas that way, and I just it's a bad year for Luka to have to prove himself. But if they beat the Clippers, depending on the fashion they do it'll be impressive. But I don't think, especially if Denver and Jokic continue to have success like I think they do. I think it's going to be another season where, at the end of it, we're kind of forgetting about what Luka did because he didn't really do much in the playoffs, unfortunately for him.
Well, that's every year. That's the
I
conversation we
know.
have every year. So here's the doomsday scenario for Luca. So at them being the 4-5 matchup, if Denver can get to number one, which is possible, then Luca, in theory, will have to go through the Clippers in the first round and then go through Denver in the second round. So that's the doomsday scenario right now. And quite frankly, and this isn't no shot at you. Quite frankly, I'm sick of people talking about Luca. I'm over it. I I cannot explain how over it I am. Because we know he's great. We know he's a triple double threat every game. His usage rating is the highest in the history of the NBA, which is ridiculous. Like in the history of the league, he has the highest usage rating. It's just you can't sustain that. Both teams are relatively healthy right now. I do think the Clippers are one of the most complete teams, 1 through 15 in the league right now, and they have a little more firepower than Denver. I'm sorry, than Dallas. So not taking anything away from Kyrie or Luca, the Clippers just have a few more weapons to throw at those, and a lot of big bodies that they can throw at those guys too. By the way, um,
Is Harden
so
going to be ready for the playoffs? Because hasn't he been dealing with some kind of small injury lately?
I have no idea. Let's look. Hold
I'm pretty sure he didn't play the other
on.
night, and I'm not sure if he's missed multiple games or if it's a less serious issue. I know he didn't play the other night. I'm pretty sure.
They've won 7 of their last 10 games, so they're okay. Yeah, Harden came back Friday, so he's back, and then they have Westbrook back as well. So, and
Okay.
Westbrook is playing great in his limited role now. So let's move on to the Eastern Conference, our favorite conference to talk about. Let's
Oh, real quick
see.
though, real quick. Hold on. Who do you
Yes,
think, according to who's in the play-in tournament, who do you think is coming out of the play-in tournament for the West?
the Lakers and Golden State. So the Lakers will have to get through Phoenix, and then Golden State will have to get through Sacramento. But I believe the Lakers and Golden State are going to come out.
And is New Orleans your pick for a first round? You think they're for sure losing in the first round?
Who, New Orleans?
Yeah.
I have no
Who do you,
faith in them.
that's what I'm saying. Like, of all the teams, for sure, like, which one do you believe in the least? I would go with the Pelicans.
In the top 6, yeah, but we don't know who they're matching up against yet. So, for example, as of this recording, they're matching up against Denver. Of course, that can change tonight. If they match up against Minnesota, they may have a shot. If they match up against OKC, they actually may have a shot. But against Denver, as of right now, no, they have no shot. I'll say this: there will be an upset, and it just all depends on who gets the third seed. Because Dallas is not going to upset the Clippers. Excuse me. The Lakers could upset Minnesota if they get the 7th seed.
Mm-hmm.
If Minnesota stays at 2, so there's still a lot of
Yeah.
variables out there right now. Next week we'll have a clearer picture than what we have right now. Um, Unfortunately, we don't record at night because then we could really dig into it today. But next week we'll have a clearer picture of what's going on out there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, especially with the clusterfuck that is the Eastern Conference. Okay, our favorite conference. So there's so many playoff scenarios here. I can't remember them all. I'm old, so fuck
Oh man,
everybody
it's
with
gonna
that.
take a long time to go through it all.
Yeah, so we don't have all that time today, people. I gotta work. But this is what I'm gonna say. These are a couple of things that stand out. New York could actually become the 2nd seed. Kudos to New York. Kudos to the Knicks for holding it together with some of the injuries they've had. That's impressive. The
Mm-hmm.
Magic, as of right now, as the 5th seed, a little ahead of schedule. We thought they would have been in the play-in. They technically could still fall to the play-in, but kudos to the Magic for having such a great season. Kudos to Indiana. Um, One of the teams I did pick to do well this year. I'm not going to mention the Wizards, but I picked Indiana to do well this year. I didn't think they would be this good. I thought they were going to be in the top in the play-in. Forgive me, I didn't think they would be in the top 6.
And they did it with Halliburton missing some time.
Correct. They had some great trades though, that helped them out this season.
Yeah.
Kudos to your Atlanta Hawks. You called it. For most of the season, they've been in the play-in. For most of the season, they played well without Trey Young, who just came back. Uh,
Uh-huh. And
yeah,
it seems
yeah.
like they're for sure gonna split those two up.
But so here's the funny thing about that. They've lost the last 5 games. I think he's been back 3 or 4 of those games. They lost the last 5.
Not a good look.
Not a good look. All right. And then of course, I'm just gonna give everybody props. Joel Embiid's back. Philadelphia's on a tear, 7 straight wins. Miami. Oh, go
The
ahead. I'm sorry.
Sixers should have been the 2nd seed.
Oh, they could have easily been up there. Yeah, yeah.
If Embiid didn't go down, I would pick them as the 2nd. The Sixers aren't a normal 7th seed.
Hmm.
Mm.
And then of course the Heat at the 8th seed. Just just bullshit, bullshit. The way they played this year. No excuses. They should have been better. There's some games that they lost. We should have had this game back and that game back. The Heat could have easily been the 2nd seed, to be honest with you. Um, so let's talk about this clusterfuck in the middle. 5, 6, 7 is a tie. Magic, Pacers, Philly. Then you have Miami at 8, who's one game behind. So here's the scenario. Here's a couple of scenarios. All these teams play at 1 o'clock today. If the Magic win, if the Magic and Pacers win, the Magic are going to stay ahead because the Magic has a tiebreak.
Mm-hmm.
If Philly wins, Lord, I cannot remember. Do you guys have the tiebreak over Philly?
Listen, no, we don't. But if we win today, we're the division title, or we win our division over you guys, the Heat, and that's what gives us the tiebreak over Philly. It goes by division winner first. So we had the tiebreaker with Indiana. That's why we're ahead of them. But if the Magic lose and Philly wins, they jump us, obviously, anyways. But the
Okay.
reason we have it right now is because right now, Magic with a win are division winners,
And
and so
that's
that's why.
that's significant. And the reason why I say that is because it has been years since someone outside of the Miami Heat have won the divisions. And I know the divisions don't mean as much now as they used to, but it's probably been 6 or 7 years since another team has won the Southeast Division outside of Miami. So that's weird to me. Um,
I watched a video. Shout out to Philip Rothman Reich of the Orlando Magic Daily. He had a very long, extensive breakdown of all these scenarios on an episode yesterday, and explained the Magic, Pacers, Philly situation in depth.
Got it. So the dark horse is the Heat because if the Heat win and Milwaukee beat you guys today, then Miami's going to jump up a little. Miami can jump as high as fifth, but
Mm-hmm.
we need to win and we need everybody else to lose, and Miami could actually get the fifth seed. Or it's possible that Miami and Orlando could play each other in the play, which I know that's doomsday scenario for you, but
Because we'd have to go to Miami to play that game, and I
yeah,
don't want that. Look, I'll play any team at home. I really believe in the Magic at home.
uh-huh.
But I don't want to play Miami, and I mean, I used to say that about Atlanta, but now they've been in a weird situation. But I really
Yeah.
don't want to play Atlanta in Atlanta either. So I'd like to avoid those two situations.
I think it's been 5 or 6 years since you guys won a game in Miami. I think that's what it was. I know Aaron Gordon was there the last time you guys won in Miami. He's been going what 3 or 4 years now. So yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So in the East right now, we don't have. There's no there's no matchup that's locked in right now. Um. I do want to talk about Milwaukee. I've been ripping Milwaukee all year, and I'm going to keep doing it. As far as the top 6 teams, I actually think they're the ones that everyone is targeting, and Milwaukee is scared shitless. Let me say that because they don't want Philly, and they for damn sure don't want Miami either.
Yeah.
So what do you think about Milwaukee, man? How and let's also keep in mind that Giannis has that Achilles strain, which is very dangerous. Even though
Mm,
they're going to sit him out today. Um,
yeah.
so considering Giannis may miss a game or two in the playoffs again, how do you think Milwaukee's going to come out of this? Because I think they're false prophets.
Well, I think considering the talent and considering the legacy of this team in the last 5, 6 years, it should be the mentality should be championship or bust, and so it's a bit of a letdown of a season because I don't see them coming out. I don't even see them coming out of the East, let alone winning a championship. So, yeah, it's a bit of a letdown of a season, I would say, especially coming at the beginning of the season with the expectations, because just being the 2 seed isn't enough to convince me that, like I said, it's championship or bust with this team, considering
Right.
what they have and their legacy. So there's just no way it's going to happen. And despite them being the 2 seed, it's, yeah, how you would describe them as false prophets a little bit. It's kind of like one of those old Toronto teams back in the day that used to have great regular seasons. They would have great regular seasons, but just go nowhere. And I mean,
That's so rude of you.
Milwaukee's proven that they can win, just not not with this team, not against you know the best in the East. I believe so. Um, I can see them making it out of the first round, but depending on who they get, I just don't see them. I don't see them coming out of the East. I don't even see them really making it out of the. Who would they have to play in the second round if they win the first round? They would be playing what, nine
They would
right now?
play. They
Or
would
I mean,
play
I'm sorry,
the.
seven.
Yeah. So yeah, they would play as of right now. If they stay the second seed, they would play whoever gets the seventh seed. Looks like either Philly or Miami. Okay. If they are to drop to the three seed, as of right now, they would get Indiana. If you go to the second round, they're looking at the as the second seed, they would look at the winner of the 3-6 matchup in the second round. So it's nothing that's set in stone right now, so it's hard to predict that. But let's say if we do it as it is today, if they get through Miami or Philly in the second round, they're looking at right now the winner of New York and Indiana, which
And
is tough
let's be
because
clear.
Indiana has owned them.
I was gonna say Milwaukee doesn't want any part of Indiana, and I would imagine doesn't want any part of Philly. I don't think anybody wants Philly. There's, so it's they might not even, depending on the way this slots, they might not even make it out of the first round, which is going to be a huge disappointment
I
compared to
mean,
compared to
I
what
mean,
they thought this season was going to be. Huge
they got
disappointment.
they got eliminated in the first round last year.
I know you do that 2 years in a row, it looks real bad though. They
Well,
fired
yeah,
their coach basically
yes,
because for it.
yes, and I will. And here's another thing, and then I'll move off of Milwaukee. You want to have momentum going into the playoffs, and I'm going to ask you a question about your Magic shortly. But Milwaukee has lost 7 of their last 10 games. They're only 3-7 in their last 10 games,
Yeah,
with one game to go. They're looking atrocious right now. I know your team fell off just a little bit. You know, my team's 6-4 in the last 10 games, but they've dropped a couple of games they desperately should have won. But as far as the Magic, right now, the Magic and the Bucks are the two teams with losing records in the last 10 games going into the playoffs. So how do you feel about the Magic sliding just a little bit?
it always felt like holding, keeping the top spot was gonna have a feeling of holding onto the top spot, not necessarily taking it, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Um, there's been a lot of doom and gloom in the Magic group these last couple of games, and I always say, winning solves everything. The
Mm.
Magic have won a lot of games compared to what even the most optimistic Magic fans would have guessed this season. They they took a step forward that we didn't think they were going to make this year. So it's been described as like a very, very successful season with
Yeah.
a disappointing ending. But we're not in the playoffs yet. All of these thoughts and feelings could get wiped away with a few good wins. The Magic can play and win against anybody, but they don't have the experience yet to almost like elevate their game when it comes time. Also, to a lot of scrutiny from the fans, the Magic didn't make a move at the trade deadline. They didn't need to, really. But I do think we're seeing the end of the road with the current Magic roster. Like, I think we're seeing where they can get this team,
Hmm.
and that was a step in the right direction. This was a big step forward for the Magic. But we're not on the same level as Philly. We're not on the same level. I would even argue, as poorly as the Bucks season has went for their expectations, we're not quite there yet. New York has a couple seasons on us of experience in making it into the playoffs. The only team I really feel comfortable, being in this race with is Indiana, because they're on the come up as well. The Heat have had an odd season. We thought they were going to be a little bit better. So they're mixed up in this mess as well. But the Magic have had a great season. There's nothing to be upset about. I didn't for as exciting as it was at times for the Magic to be the third seed or fourth even. It was just a bit ahead of schedule, and I didn't think we were going to maintain it. So I've just tried to keep my expectations in check and remember where we were at the beginning of the season making our guesses, and just know that our main two guys are 22 and 23. I think I saw the other day where it's like we're the only team in the league with this many wins, with our three main guys being like 23 and under, 24 and under, something crazy. And this is how radical people can get though. In a few games, like the Magic aren't on the same level as these elite teams. So I just know that we're ahead of schedule, and I don't get too up or too down with what's going on lately, but really saying, hey, maybe it's time to have a conversation about Paolo. And I was like, yeah. So your second year franchise cornerstone all-star, 22, 5 and 7, whatever his stats are, it's like in that ballpark. It's like he has a couple games where he's learning how to step up and he stumbles, and you're already so quick to say we need to have a conversation about the guy. The other night, there's a still frame. There's a picture of him against Philly. You can't even see another Magic player in the picture.
Mhm.
It's Paolo in the paint driving with 5 red Philly jerseys around him. The whole team locked in on him. And so for the Magic fans that are real doom and gloom and that are so down with the team lately that they have to even start questioning Paolo, just be patient. We haven't been in this situation for over 5 years where we were even able to make a playoff push and then know that we're going to get bounced in the first round. That was the only hope this team had, and the future is so bright right now for Orlando that for us to make it this far, even if we fall into the play-in, and even if we lose the play-in, that would be incredibly disappointing. But these are the steps the team has to take in terms of
Yeah.
maturity and experience if they want to eventually win a championship. Because no one just jumps up from from nothing to go straight to the finals. It just doesn't happen ever. I mean, the Heat went from the play into the finals, but they had the experience already. It was odd for them to be in the play-in, to be honest. So no team does that. The Magic have had a phenomenal season. I hope they don't fall into the play-in, and I hope they don't lose in the play-in, because we deserve to be in a 7-game series and to figure out what happens there. That's where I want the Magic to get their experience, and I'm expecting them to get bounced in the first round. It was still an amazingly successful season. Paolo is going to be great. Franz is going to be great. Mosley is our coach. Jalen Suggs and Jonathan Isaac are elite level defenders. So we have a lot to be happy about. We need to go out and beat Milwaukee today at home and not leave all these chances, because I don't want to play the Heat. I don't want the Heat to win and Orlando to lose. I don't need all this shit in my life. Orlando just
No, you
needs to
need chaos.
win,
No.
secure the 5 spot, and just play Cleveland or whoever. I don't care who you got to play, but I just want to make it into the playoffs, a regular 7-game series, and celebrate the Magic season that way. I don't want to go into the play-in. Just go out in Orlando, handle your business without Giannis on the court that you couldn't do the other night in Milwaukee on the second night of a back-to-back. I get it. But you need to go handle your business today because you've blown too many games lately.
Okay. I was gonna come
I
on here
had
today.
to, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was gonna come on here today and just rip the Heat a new one. I really was. Like I was frustrated. Last 2 weeks I've been frustrated. The
Mm.
Indiana loss was bullshit. You know, we talked about that offline with the NBA admitting that they missed calls in that game, which is ridiculous. Um, but I'm gonna make a statement, and I'm smiling big for a reason. God knows, man, I love ripping Milwaukee, man. God knows it. But
Mhm.
Damian Lillard, I love you to death. I love you, and I know you want to come home to Miami. I know. I need you to beat the Magic today. I need as much chaos as I can get today. Okay. I really need Milwaukee to beat y'all today because that's going to be the first domino. And it really sucks that everybody's playing at the same time. It really fucking sucks. Okay. But
Specifically for your Heat, you need the Magic to lose.
yes, yes.
Mhm.
No disrespect to the Magic. Because see, here's and we talked about this earlier. Here's the situation with Milwaukee. Okay, you can lose the game, but now you have the potential looking at Indiana in the first round. Indiana absolutely wants Milwaukee. I mean, they
Yeah.
absolutely want their ass, okay? Or you're looking at Philly, or you're looking at Miami. So no matter what Milwaukee does today, they're fucked. They're absolutely fucked, okay? Because it's like that's tough, man. They're not going to beat either one of those teams. Either one of those teams, Milwaukee's not going to beat. So from a Heat perspective, we need Milwaukee to win that game today. And the last thing I say before we wrap it up is that what made me kind of calm down about Miami is that they're used to this. They're used to having their backs up against the wall. They're used to everyone writing them off, and that's when they play their best. So I was like, okay, do they have one more magical run in them? Who knows? But I do know they're probably going to get out of the first round, get out of the play in, get out of the first round. What happens after that? I don't know. Um, I did see a matchup with the Magic. It just all depends on how this plays out. But I did see a matchup with them in the Magic in the conference finals. As of right now, it actually could still happen if the Magic stay five and the Heat just stay wherever the fuck they are right now. It's so confusing. Um,
We'll see. We'll call that one a long shot. All right. For now,
no, the gods have spoken. No, the gods
they,
have fucking spoken.
they lied to
The
you.
God, no, they did not. The gods have spoken, just like they spoke to me last year when everybody thought I was crazy. But
It's for real crazy this year. If you think Magic and Heat are making it to the final conference
conference finals, yeah. So on that note, like Miami's going to be okay. They're going to be fine. Toronto's going to lay down today, which is good because Toronto they want to lose the game anyway because they want to get a shot at the top pick. So Toronto's going to lay down for Miami today. Look, there was probably some calls made behind the scenes, like y'all lay the fuck down. But I really need Milwaukee to beat the Magic. You don't know how bad, and I actually need
Just
the
bad taste
Hawks.
out of my mouth, and Orlando has to win. Every time they have a must win, they blow it. But it's the final game of the season. They're at home.
They ain't
They
gonna drop
have to
50 on
win this
y'all.
game. They have to
Nah,
win this game.
they ain't dropping 50 on y'all.
That's
You know
I,
they ain't
I
loves
don't
y'all.
even care. I don't even care if Dame drops 50. As long as we win the game. Nobody
And,
gets
and I
hurt. Nobody gets hurt. Magic win. That's all I want.
and I do need the Hawks to be Indiana. I need it. And Miami shouldn't even be in this fucking situation. But they are whatever. We need a little help today, and we'll see how it shakes up. But yeah, next week we'll be able to have, of course, our official, not too early playoff predictions. So,
Mhm.
on that note, please like, subscribe, and share our content. Drop comments below. We always respond. Everyone stay safe, and we are out.